Oh man, Jesus. Yeah, man. So, question: what happens when I guess your trust is broken? And these are all rhetorical questions because I already know the answer, but this is just for people to think. When somebody is, well, I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I'm not trying to expose anybody. This is nothing towards me, so let me make that loud and clear during this broadcast. I might have to uh, repeat that throughout the broadcast. Oh, I didn't know you do police escorts for bike rides. Okay, that's new. Y'all can see them right there. Yeah, they're right there. Y'all can see them right there. But let me map this out better because we're actually going to do a stream about this later on. I don't know exactly when, but it's going to be later on. I already got the notes and everything taken care of. Uh, my weakness is not your responsibility. This is evolving around the word vulnerability because if you really look up the definition of the word vulnerability, time, what's going on? How you feeling? When you really look up the definition, particularly the etymology definition of the word vulnerability, you'll realize being vulnerable might not be the best thing, might not be the best option, especially, especially around people you don't trust. That's real. See, as I guess prepare for that stream that we'll do later. Um, vulnerability is a weakness, ladies and gentlemen. It's 100% a weakness. Alex, Roncast, good afternoon. How y'all feeling? Most people feel intensely emotional. One of those emotions could be sadness or broken trust. Yes, that's 100% vulnerability. Something close to it because, well, I'll give you guys a definition. We'll go over this later. Wounding, hurt, injure, maim, pluck, to tear, to strike. That's vulnerabilities, and it's adjective, by the way. Vulnerability means I'm incomplete. I'm not at 100%. So why would I want to give less than to whoever? That literally makes no sense. Hell, I'm going as far as to say that's not logical at all. Yeah, that's 100% not logical. Um, okay. Oh, that's why I put that Bible verse. Oh, that's really gonna be a good show when we get to it. One second, y'all. Okay. Move on the balls down motion. That if it's broken, you don't know how some people would act is definitely with us. Yeah. Vulnerability is present when there's no logic. Oh, excuse me, there's no solution. Yeah, same thing. But when there's no solution, or this weakness is actually compromising me in some way, shape, or form, where I need this weakness to become a strength because this is part of my everyday life. That's vulnerability. If I cannot, let me give you an example. I got to go to work every day. I got to work all these hours. I got to pay these bills, blah, blah, blah. What's the vulnerability in that? How about transportation? I need a way to get to work, and I'm struggling. I'm at my wits end. That's a vulnerability. Me compromising my way to make money because I have no transportation to get to where I'm going, and now I gotta try to find a way, find a bus, find an Uber, find a where whatever to get there. And matter of fact, Uber, Lyft, all that stuff will cost you more money anyway. That's 100% of vulnerability, especially financially. See, the thing is, people want to know what you're going through. People want to know your vulnerability. People want to know your struggles. People want to know your weakness. And that's why I titled this stream, My Weakness is Not Your Responsibility. I could go as far as to say my weakness is none of your damn business, but it is not your responsibility. And if it's not your responsibility, I don't see no reason to volunteer that information if all you gotta do is sprinkle a little bit of logic here so a solution can grow. And all you gotta do is figure it out. You ain't gotta tell nobody nothing. Nobody knows what happened. You go about your business, and that be the that'll be the end of it. Honestly, you need you definitely need logic, person with solution to be around vulnerable, especially if the vulnerable person is trusting you. Right. Shout out to Ray Midnight. Oh man, shout out to Ray Midnight, man. But yeah, my weakness, I do I have weakness? You'll never know. I would never confirm or deny that. As a matter of fact, I won't confirm I had a weakness until I make it a strength. So that way it cannot be used against me as a weapon. That's the closest thing to being vulnerable I will be, because it's no longer a weakness, it's now a strength. You can't use that against me. Like for example, I wasn't always the best dressed because of the hand-me-down situation that I was forced to be in, and people knowing I had hand-me-downs and people using it against me and saying I'm gonna be stuck with that my whole life or whatever. Now that I have funds to buy whatever I want, I now dress better than most people, especially when it's time for me to put on a suit. And now I could tell people I used to wear hand-me-downs because that's no longer a weakness. That's no longer a crutch to me. Now that's no longer a vulnerability. You can't use that on me anymore. That's not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to hold me any type of weight. One second, can I mute this? Sorry. Yeah, you can't use that against me. Nobody can. It's like, okay, I used to wear hand-me-downs back in the day by way of my parents because I didn't have a choice in the matter. Now I dress better than your bloodline, anybody in your close circle. Now what? You cannot let people know your vulnerability because they will use it against you, especially when they try to get mad at you. Look at Tamara. She made the wrong decision to leave her husband. There you go. Now let's get to that, which also goes with the title, vulnerability. My vulnerability is not your responsibility. Some people decide to be vulnerable, find out one person or maybe a group to express their vulnerability because they do trust them. They let the guard down, shield down. They give them the whole self. They give everything, everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the worst. I'll just go stupid. Um, and oh, let me start to download on this one. Sorry, got going through an update. People, there are people who choose that right person to be vulnerable with. Matter of fact, I'm vulnerable with somebody. One, to be exact. I'm all the way vulnerable. Now, when it comes to why people are scared, is because if somebody does make that decision to be vulnerable with somebody, they trust that person to protect. Uh, they entrust that person to protect them, protect the one thing that they that can ultimately destroy them. Now, an argument can be made like that's stupid. Why would you give? Why would you give away that one thing that can destroy you? But that's how, where relationship. That's where building comes. That's where trust, love, and that type of stuff. See, you don't need to be vulnerable with no stranger. Now, some people say you need to be vulnerable with your significant other. Uh, you wouldn't believe how many people wear hand-me-downs. Um, hey, that's true, but also we know that there's a lot of people who use that as a crutch to make fun of somebody. But when it comes to vulnerability, or sharing your vulnerability, there's a certain level of trust that is there, and God forbid if that trust is broken. Because once that trust is broken, I can assure you, there's damn near no coming back. No coming back. See, here's what I do. I'll give previously, of course. I'll give little information away. Not real vulnerabilities. I'll give things that were vulnerability that's now strength. So it's like, let me put this out there. Let me tell you this. And let me see what you do with it. You will be surprised at how many people try to how many people have proven that they're not trustworthy. Now, granted, when they broke that trust, the information I gave to them is something I measured and it cannot be used against me because it didn't hurt me at all. I use that as let me put this trap out there. Let me see what I catch. So that's what I do. One second, y'all. Yeah, I'm about to cut this short. You'll be surprised at how many people have just broken my trust. How do you celebrate a divorce? Better yet, graduate from a divorce. She's definitely been listening to her girlfriend's um vulnerability is her having the spotlight on herself and not her family. Mm, Well, that's a good question. Well, that's oh well, I'll put it like this. When it comes to a divorce, it's just one chapter in and the next chapter begins. Whatever happened, leave it in the previous chapter, go on to the next one. Whatever she decides to do, let her. Let her. You just gotta move on. I gotta move on. So next chapter. And trust me, one thing about that is the next chapter is always better than the last one. That's for sure. That is for sure. Oh, that uploaded fast. 1 second again. Yeah, I gotta get out of here. For real, for real. So yeah, when it comes to vulnerability, I strongly like I said, when it comes to weakness, please make your weakness your strength because your vulnerability is nobody's business. No stranger's business is definitely a weakness. That is not your weakness is not anybody else's responsibility. It's yours to fix. And if you do decide to show some vulnerability, please be careful who you're vulnerable to because once that person breaks your trust, no, actually, let me tell that to the other people. Ladies and gentlemen, if somebody is going to be vulnerable with you, that means they trust you and they have good reasons not to trust anybody, but they decided to trust you. If that trust is broken, you will send that person down a different path, and what comes of that is going to be on your hands. Granted, everybody is responsible for their own decision. I'm just saying this: whatever blood is on that person's hands is also on yours. So you don't want no one to be vulnerable with you. It's best if you just say, keep that to yourself, respectfully. They will respect that versus telling, opening up to you, and you betray them. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. But I gotta go. I gotta take care of this situation because I'm in downtown. BTS Show, Chris J. Talk to you guys later. Peace out. Thank you, chat.